Just 6 hours ago, Vice has released an article depicting why Tim Ballard is no longer with Operation Underground Railroad and sexual misconduct is part of the allegation. Let's analyze the article, weigh the evidence, and dig in. Hey everybody, welcome back to Coach's Archives. Thank you so much for being here at the channel as we are looking at the most recent update with the Sound of Freedom movie. You guys all are aware probably that Vice is one of the leading people in media or entities in media that has spearheaded the attack of Sound of Freedom, Tim Ballard. They've attacked it from about every angle possible, and the latest one, they are digging into why Tim Ballard is no longer with Operation Underground Railroad. So you can see the headline here, Tim Ballard's departure from Operation Underground Railroad followed sexual misconduct investigation. O.U.R is dedicated to combating sexual abuse and does not tolerate sexual harassment or discrimination by anyone in its organization, the organization tells Vice News. A little bit more reading than normal here, guys, but the words are very important. Tim Ballard's exit from the Operation Underground Railroad earlier this year followed an investigation into claims of sexual misconduct involving 7 women, according to sources with direct knowledge of the organization. Sources familiar with the situation said that the self-styled anti-slavery activist, who appears to be preparing for a Senate run, invited women to act as his wife on an undercover overseas missions ostensibly aimed at rescuing victims of sex transportation. He would then allegedly coerce those women into sharing a bed or showering together, claiming that it was necessary to fool traffickers. Ballard, who was played by Jim Caviezel in the hit film Sound of Freedom, is said to have sent at least one woman a photo of himself in his underwear, festooned with fake tattoos, and to have asked another how far she was willing to go. In the words of a source to save children, these sources requested anonymity because they fear retaliation. So right away, when you open up the Vice article and look at just the couple of headlines there in the beginning, just the opening paragraphs, there is no conclusive evidence. And you know that Vice is out to say that Tim Ballard is guilty from the very beginning. And here's the thing, guys, I don't know, but I do know this. I can recognize that Vice has had an anti-Sound of Freedom and an anti-Tim Ballard movement from the very beginning. In fact, they've had it before the movie even came out. So here they are now, all of a sudden claiming these things. And as you read the article further, they're going to say that they've known this for months. Why didn't you release it months ago? That's one question. But anyways, I guess that they just thought that the time was right, as the latest rumors with Tim Ballard is that he is prepping for a Senate run, and also he is also being under attack from the LDS Church. There's this thing that's happening in the LDS Church. We're going to dig into that more at another time, where the church has basically distanced itself from Tim Ballard in real life, and that's a whole nother can of worms. Basically, this is looking like a strategic attack to just tear Tim Ballard down. Also, as we continue, I just want to make sure that we are aware of this. I do not condone this type of sexual misconduct in any way, but again, we have to face the fact. None of this has been proven. At this time, this is hearsay. So, they've got people on record claiming that Ballard did this. Well, we need more than that, because in this country, you're innocent until proven guilty. So, the total number of women involved is believed to be higher than 7, as that would only account for employees, not contractors or volunteers. One source close to Operation Underground Railroad has detailed knowledge of Ballard making sexual advances to a volunteer using methods similar to those he allegedly used with O.U.R employees. Those methods are consistent with his conduct towards another former volunteer who spoke to Vice News. In response to a detailed request for comment, a spokesperson for O.U.R told Vice News, Tim Ballard resigned from O.U.R on June 22, 2023. He has permanently separated from O.U.R. O.U.R is dedicated to combating sexual abuse and does not tolerate sexual harassment or discrimination by anyone in its organization. O.U.R. retained an independent law firm to conduct a comprehensive investigation of all relevant allegations, and O.U.R. continues to assess and improve the governance of the organization and protocols for its operations. To preserve the integrity of its investigation and to protect the privacy of all persons involved, O.U.R. will not make any further public comment at this time. O.U.R. is confident in its future as the leading organization committed to combating sex transportation and saving children who have been captured and sold into slavery. The information from the sources with direct knowledge of O.U.R. corroborates an anonymous letter. Okay? Red flag there for me. That's been circulating in the Utah philanthropic community for the past several months, which accuses Ballard of sexual harassment. Vice News first reported on the letter in July. The journalist Lynn Packer published it in full on Sunday. So there you go. Anonymous letters, more hearsay. Tim Ballard did these things against 7 women, but we think it was probably more than 7 women. We just don't have the evidence at the time. They're making him look as bad as they possibly can. Now, again, we got to say this. Is it true? We don't know. I don't know. You don't know. But you can't assume that he's guilty yet. We have to have more evidence. And oh, by the way, I hate the fact that he is being torn down if it's not true. And I do want justice to be served. If Ballard is guilty of these things, then hammer him. If he's innocent of these things, then Vice needs to be held accountable. Period. Vice must be held accountable. Can Ballard sue Vice? It's possible. It's definitely possible. Can Ballard sue Vice for destroying his attempted run at the Senate, perhaps? Maybe. But what all is going on with the church? How is Tim Ballard responding to all of these things? Let's look. This video was just posted yesterday. Tim Ballard at a public gathering, and listen to what the man says.
No. You heard that?
Yes.
It's not true. Nothing in here is true. Leo, how close am I to President M. Russell Ballard?
All right, so he's asking how close is he to the president of the LDS Church, whose name is also Ballard. And basically what Tim Ballard is trying to say is, look, he's like a grandfather to me. I've sought his counsel, but I have never used his name for financial gain or for popularity or anything like that. That's one of the things that is being said in the media, that Ballard was using the name of the president of the LDS Church to further his own career, to make himself more than what he was. And Tim Ballard is vehemently saying none of that is true in any way. Unfortunately, if that is the truth, the church has definitely distanced itself from Tim Ballard. They've even removed his information from their official website most recently. So that's a situation that we're going to continue to look at. But again, just because those bad things are happening in sequence, right here in a short amount of time, does that mean that they're related? No. Does that mean that Tim Ballard is guilty of the things that Vice is reporting? No, it does not. It does not. Does that mean that it's guilty because O.U.R. wouldn't come out and flat out say he did those things and that's why he's gone? No. Just because somebody was investigated, it means nothing. I received an email from somebody who is very close to Tim Ballard, somebody who works with him hand in hand at the Spear Fund. And here's what the message said. Just to explain a bit more about what is happening, we are trying to educate people on what is really happening with the allegations made by Vice magazine. They are twisting what Tim Ballard has done undercover and making it look like he is doing those things in real life, which he is not. This podcast explains the whole thing. Please check it out and we will talk further. I'm wanting to spread the word on this because this is basically an official response from Tim Ballard and his people. They are saying to go watch this video right here. You can see the video right here and what it is. The title of the channel is Marisol Nichols for a slavery-free world. And the episode, the video title is Undercover Heroes, Female Operatives on Covert Missions, featuring Tim Ballard, Season 2, Episode 5. And I will link this entire video inside the description so you could go and check that out, because what our friends are telling us is that this video will dispute all of the bad press. It's 41 minutes long. We got to dig into it, but it will dispute all of the allegations made by Vice about the things that he has done that has been sexual misconduct. Go and check that out. Don't let one article, don't just follow and be a sheep. Be a free thinker. Look at the evidence, weigh the evidence, and then make your decision. So far, I need more. And here's the other thing. We've said this from the beginning. With all of the attacks on Sound of Freedom, with all of the things that have happened with Tim Ballard, Sound of Freedom, Angel Studios, everything, it faced an inordinate amount of problems and attack from people. There's no doubt about that. Well, when you look at the amount of attacks there, you don't just blindly follow and just assume, well, it's Q conspiracy. Oh, it was financed by people who are actually into child transportation and all of the crazy attacks. Don't just blindly follow. Look and see what is being said. Look into it yourself and then make the decision. There are too many people out here with agenda, with bias all over them. What is the purpose? What is the motive behind the report? And many times, it's just trash. It's a trash take. And I got to be honest with you, whether Vice is telling the truth or not here, Vice is trash because of the way that they conduct themselves and the way that they smear people and attack people without the evidence. Wait until you have the inconclusive evidence to prove what you're saying before you come out just saying these allegations. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for being here at Coach's Archives. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for watching this Sound of Freedom update. More coming on the channel. I will be getting into some pop culture, entertainment, news, and reviews in the very near future. We don't just cover political things and things like that here. We cover basically all of it. So greatly appreciate you being here. So I hope that the good Lord rains down blessings on you and draws you near to him in Jesus' name. See you in the next one.